Do we need dog?
Oh, yes. Dog, come. Dog, come.
No, come. No, pay me. Treats. I'll do it for treats.
You can sleep here now. Okay?
Hi,
I'm Anastasia.
I'm Jeff, and we're here today to tell you about our RV buying experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and my $5,000 mistake. We have a previous video when we traveled to Skyrocketing back in 2018, and that we had so much fun that we really thought we'd enjoy the RV life, and that's when we first started considering maybe owning an RV. Now we're moving out of our beach rental in New Jersey, and quite frankly for us, it was getting a little mundane. It was losing the excitement of going to our beach house, because we've done it for so many years. So that's when we finally decided to consider buying an RV, and our new summer residence would have 6 wheels, and that's what we did. The advantages are, spending summers in different places, and also the actual cost improvement compared to mortar and brick, especially a second home. The downside everybody's going to tell you is, they depreciate so much the first time you drive it off the lot, and they're very expensive, they don't get good gas mileage. But let's compare that to a summer rental at the beach. Our summer rental ran us over $50,000 between the rent, the utilities, and everything else of moving back and forth from Florida to New Jersey. Unfortunately though, the timing on buying an RV is not good. There were 1 million RVs sold in 2020, a record, and it seems like the campgrounds are crowded and hard to get reservations.
Yeah, so the time is unfortunate for in general, but for us personally, it's perfect because you're about to retire, and we didn't want to postpone it because of the global situation. We don't want to wait, so we are buying it no matter what. We would like to share with you our experience, what mistakes we did. There is a way to do it less painfully than we did.
Yes, but it's not impossible, and if you plan ahead, I still think that camping and traveling and seeing the country through an RV is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to go over a couple of things that we would do differently. The first thing is you really need to consider what your needs are. What kind of camping are you going to do? Do you want a Class B? Do you want a Class C? Do you want a Class A? Which are the different sizes of RVs. You want to know what your budget is. And some of the problems you're going to experience initially is there's none to look at. So we actually picked a leisure travel van Unity initially. It's made in Canada, British Columbia, and we just thought it had really neat engineering, and we especially liked the coach section of it. The pop-up TV, the Murphy bed, it was on a Mercedes Sprinter chassis.
But the main thing we wanted, because we are in UBIS, we didn't do it for a long time, we just had a 1 week of experience. Jeff has a little bit more. So we decided this small RV will be perfect for us. And Unity was this type. Plus, the small RV can take us to more places than the big rig. So this is another advantage, so we can see it. Plus, we are just 2 of us. We thought at the beginning 1 living space will be enough for us. But after some consideration, we decided every couple has their own moments, and we need not 1 living space, but at least 2.
Yes.
To have.
And in the Unity, basically you've got 1 living space and a bathroom, and that's it.
There is another disadvantage of the small living space in the Unity.
What?
There is no space for Nala's favorite cave sleep bed. Right, Nala?
Oh no, that would be awful.
Yes.
And one of the disadvantages was the towing capacity.
I'd like to get something that we can use out west, some off-roading possibly. Most people tow Jeeps. That's definitely the #1 tow vehicle if you're going to do all 4 down. But the Unity is just not strong enough to pull a Jeep.
But it's very well designed, it's very neat. So we decided, yes, it should be our RV, this is just for us, and we jumped in it.
Yes. We jumped in too quickly, and we actually trusted the dealership, which I'm going to go over briefly because that's really where you have to be extremely careful. We went ahead and committed to this in January of this year, and because the lead times were so long, we were able to get a contract that had been written in June of 2020. And we did this at Gerzeni's RV World in Nokomis, Florida. And I think that was our first mistake. I really don't trust these people. I didn't have a good feeling the first time I went in because I was the only one in there. And the second time I went down there, I was still the only one in there. And I don't know. I really have a problem with the way they have run their organization and their policies. They told me that I would be able to take possession of this leisure travel van Unity MB by the end of the year. Worst case, January or February. So now it's getting close to that time. When I checked on it in July, they said, oh no, it won't be until April. So then I just called again recently and they said, well, you know, they're still struggling with the Sprinter chassis and it won't be till the end of next year. So I contracted on a 2022 and it sounds like I'm not going to get it, and I'd get it 2023. And we're planning on leaving the middle part of next year, preferably May, and that's just not acceptable. So what we did is we got bigger, and we went for Dynamax DX3. The DX3 stands for 3 slides. So it's got a bedroom with a king bed, it's got with a slide, and it's got 2 slides up in the front near the front cabin. One expands the kitchen and the other one expands the whole side, including a theater seating with
we're going to have a dryer and washer.
And a washer and dryer and a pop-up 50-inch TV. So we're going to be quite comfortable. It's like we never left New Jersey.
Why we pick Super C and not Class A RV, we're going to talk about it in our next video.
We bought this Dynamax DX3 from Terrytown Superstore in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we had a very good salesman, very knowledgeable, very experienced. The one thing that they did that Gerzeni's would not do is they guaranteed our delivery date of May, and if we don't get it, if it's not delivered by May, we get out of the contract and we get our deposit back. If you want to avoid your $5,000 mistake, do not give them a $5,000 deposit or any deposit without a performance criteria, and limit the amount of time they can be late on a promised delivery. This one we ordered for Gerzeni's. They want us to wait 28 months from the day it was initially ordered in June of 2020, which is so unacceptable. You'd be a lot better off if you negotiate stronger on that deposit in today's environment, because otherwise they just they have you. Make sure you do your research on what's important to you and how you're going to use the camper. Are you going to be taking long trips? Our trips plan on being about 6 months, 3 to 6 months, depending on the next few years and how busy we are doing, still working. But if it's gonna be for a weekend trip, that Unity would have been perfect. If it's going away for a week, the Unity would have been perfect. But if you're gonna be staying out on the road for an extended period of time, make sure that it has the size, the space, the capacity to be able to do what you want it to do. Because switching, once you make a commitment, it's very hard to get out of any kind of a contract. If you do get ridiculous lead times, consider other brands. The Unity had long 1-year lead times, in 2018 and 2019. It took forever to get them. And it's on a Sprinter chassis. A lot of manufacturers do Sprinter chassis. We bought a Dynamax. They have a Isata, which is on a Sprinter chassis. Winnebago is probably the largest Sprinter chassis RV manufacturer in the world. So there's Thor makes them. Everybody has a Sprinter chassis, and most of them are very nice. And basically, the chassis is the same for any manufacturer, and it's the actual coach, the actual RV itself that's custom built to fit the chassis. Our contract with Terrytown RV Superstore is that if they don't deliver the RV by May of 2022, we can get our deposit refunded. Overall, they've been very good. So just look at the reviews and look them up before you purchase from them. And you should really do that with any RV dealership. Just make sure that they have good customer satisfaction, because it's certainly a lot different than buying a regular car or SUV. Much different. The last thing is I do have the Unity that we ordered on RV Trader, and you can RVT, I think is what it RVT.com, and we'll have that below on our link, and you can look at the Unity that we had. If you have an interest, please respond, and maybe we can work that out. I think they're telling me it's going to be in. It won't be in next summer, so they're looking at probably an October time frame, maybe later, but that's certainly better than if you ordered it today, you wouldn't have it till 2023.
We are expecting our new RV Dynamax. We are getting it in
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
So our first trip will be from Michigan to home, and this is how we are going to test it first time. We are definitely going to post our videos about that and do the very thorough review about RV. Follow us, subscribe,
ring the bell,
and see you soon.